This is the CitizenLink Report.
If you find our insights helpful, would you support our video efforts? Your gift of $25 or more goes a long ways. Covers the crew, lights, cameras, all that. Just click on Donate. Thanks from all of us. What's ahead for conservative values? Thousands of people from across the country gathered in Washington looking for an answer. At the Conservative Political Action Conference, they heard from politicians.
And I believe that America's finest hour is still ahead of us. That our greatest stand has not yet happened because we are an opportunity society. We are not a society that believes in redistribution. We are an opportunity society.
They heard from experts from pro-family and pro-life groups, including Focus on the Family.
That each and every person should be welcomed into the world and protected in the law.
We talked to them at our CitizenLink booth, and even in the packed hallways, they asked each other, how's it going?
You know, I was actually kind of surprised. I think that there's a little more energy here than I had expected.
The mood is surprisingly upbeat, actually. So I thought it would be people would be down and devastated after the election. But surprisingly, people are very upbeat. They're really coming out swinging here, and they want to turn this thing around.
This is the CitizenLink Report. Hi, I'm Stuart Shepard along with Tom Minery, our Executive Director. Hi, Tom.
Hello, Stuart.
You may or may not have noticed, but we're in a new venue this year. CPAC moved.
It had to. This event, which brings together conservatives from all walks of life and all corners of the conservative movement, has gotten too big for the hotels in Washington, D.C., and that it has been housed in previous years. We're now in something called the Gaylord National, which is truly gargantuan. It's actually on the Maryland shore of the Potomac River just outside Washington.
And it's a nice view out the window here. We'll give you a shot or two to give you an idea where the setting is. And that's because so many people kept showing up for this. They had to grow.
They did. They started this CPAC conference 40 years ago. There were 150 people, and now they expect 12,000 this year. And that's one reason why CitizenLink is here.
And we are sponsoring the event once
again.
We're
one of a number of organizations sponsoring it. And the reason we're doing that is, historically, this CPAC conference has been all about economic conservatism, libertarianism, defense conservatism, but not a whole lot about marriage, not a whole lot about the life issues, not a whole lot about the importance of religious liberty. We're here, we've been here for a number of years now, several years, to establish a beachhead for those values, and we're expanding that. They've treated us well. We have expanded our influence, and now we actually help set the agenda for a number of the breakout sessions throughout this conference.
And also one of the big sessions. So, for example, we had a panel discussion and a screening of the movie, the documentary 3801 Lancaster, a pro-life film about the Kermit Gosnell abortion business in Philadelphia. And also, Tim Gagline, one of the vice presidents at Focus, is on a panel talking about the life issue. We are bringing those issues to the fore here at CPAC.
That's the case, and as I see the growing impact of libertarianism, I'm thinking we've got to do ever more to confront that issue in the future. And the reason I say that is libertarianism is all about personal freedom, even freedom from authority that comes from God in the realm of marriage. We've seen some young libertarians here disparagingly talk about those nasty social issues such as marriage. We'll be confronting that in the years ahead.
Now, let's talk about how people are feeling here. It was kind of a rough election year for folks with conservative values. The folks I've talked to have kind of a quiet optimism. Is that a good way to put it?
I would say so. I do not detect the fervor of the Tea Party that I saw before the 2012 elections. People are humbled and pummeled, still trying to catch their breath from the 2012 election, but they're pulling out of it. I see some glimmers of hope in this. A number of the conservative leaders are learning to talk about people rather than things. The Democrats have been very good talking about people during their campaign. Republicans talk about things. What do I mean by that? Things, economy, debt, taxes, deficits, opportunity, full employment, jobs. Those are all things. They're important, but they're not personal.
Yeah.
The Democrats are better at talking about the needs of a particular construction worker, the needs of school teachers, and how we uplift children. Now, we believe the answers to that question of how we uplift children are wrong from that side, but they personalize in a more emotional way that connection. Republicans need to do a lot better about it on that score, and I think they will, but they're starting.
And the irony perhaps is that the person who epitomized what that kind of storytelling is all about was President Reagan. Folks here often talk very glowingly about Reagan, but they've kind of forgotten some of his abilities to deliver a message through story format and through personalization.
They do. In fact, Ronald Reagan has cast such a giant shadow over the entire Republican Party in the years since his 2 terms in office. I think some are still yearning for another Ronald Reagan, or yearning for those years. They've got to move beyond it, and they've got to look to the future. And that really is a bright spot. The number of young, highly diverse, ethnically diverse Republican governors, members of Congress, members of Senate that are at this conference is truly exciting. Truly bodes well for the future.
And one of those faces that we saw was Senator Tim Scott from South Carolina. He spoke yesterday. Also, Senator Rand Paul packed the House. Now, his dad usually packs the House, and his supporters are pretty rowdy. But Rand Paul, Ron's son, spoke. He was wearing a suit jacket, but blue jeans and boots on stage. He's presenting a different presentation of conservatism, perhaps?
Not only that, but a strident presentation and in a sense an in-your-face presentation by the fact that he conducted an old-fashioned filibuster in the Senate a few days ago, actually talking for 13 hours. That was a phenomenon. He was he had an issue that was very plain to understand. Will the United States use drone strikes to kill American citizens on American soil, or for that matter, use any means of killing American citizens on American soil? Now, Attorney General Holder was reticent to say no, we would not, because if there are people who are terrorists in this country who are American citizens, they want to kill them, or at least Rand Paul thought they wanted to kill them. Finally, Eric Holder clarified the fact that no, they would not do that. However, it was a clear issue of the danger, presenting the danger of big government versus personal liberty from government, and that filibuster has made Rand Paul into something of a hero, and he basked in that glory here at CPAC.
And it certainly took the Attorney General more than a few tries to come up with the constitutional answer of due process, and that we all have certain rights under the law as citizens in this country. Tom, as you look down the road, what do you see? What's ahead for conservatism? How do we win people over to the ideas that we hold to?
Oh, I think the ideas that we hold true are endemic in the human heart. The idea that a kid needs a mom and a dad, the idea that human life exists at the beginning of conception and is in God's image and likeness, and I think those concepts are rooted deeply. The challenge is to find people who believe them deeply, who are qualified and able to articulate them wonderfully well, and who are able to amass the kind of following that will enable someone to be successful in an election. I think back to Senator Santorum from Pennsylvania in the 2012 campaign. No politician in our era has articulated social conservatism better than has Senator Santorum.
America, in its essence, is a moral enterprise. A moral enterprise focused on the dignity of every human person.
Unfortunately, he was not able to amass the kind of wherewithal to prevail in the election, and one yearns for politicians of that ability and those beliefs who can put it all together into a winning campaign.
Thank you, Tom, and thank you for watching. We always appreciate hearing from you. You may write to us at mail@citizenlink.com. Stay encouraged, stay hopeful, and remember to stand tall and be heard.